Good morning, dear parents. A very warm welcome. I am Meghna Monga, Senior Trainer, Amity Center for Educational Research and Training. I am also an Amion consultant, and I have been taking parenting workshops for over a decade now. I'm a mother of two very handsome young boys, and today supporting me during the session is my colleague, Monica Sharda, trainer, ACERT.
Good morning, dear parents.
I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to my sources of inspiration, our respected visionaries. The vision of our respected founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, and Honorable Chairperson, Mrs. Amita Chauhan ma'am, is to support parents in their parenting journey. And taking the vision forward, our respected chairperson, Mrs. Sapna Chauhan Batra ma'am, has initiated the Parent Partnership Program, which is the central goal of a collaborative effort by the team of Amity Center for Educational Research and Training, ACERT, and Amion. Now, dear parents, parenting has never been easy, and the widespread adoption of smartphones and the rise of social media has introduced a wrinkle into the challenges of parenthood. In fact, most parents say parenting is harder today than it was 20 years ago, and citing technology as a reason. So, dear parents, today's session is going to be all about parenting in the digital world. Dear parents, do you know we all live in the world of a digital divide where parents and children both are affected? Today's children are digital natives. They are born in the era of evolving technology where screen time is a part of their daily lives. Screen time is the amount of time that a child spends using a device or a computer or watching television. It could also be playing on a gaming console or smartphones. Preschoolers are exposed to a variety of screens. And let us see what this digital divide means. Well, parents, we are digital tourists who enter the technology world as and when required. But our children are called digital natives. They live in this world. Us parents and adults, we use technology as a tool and we use it to get our work done. But for children, it is their home. They use it to build relationships. And do you know the fun part, dear parents? We don't know our child can do it. We feel that, the children cannot work with media and technology. And children know that parents definitely can't do it. So what is screen time? Screen time is an inescapable reality of modern childhood, with children of every age spending hours in front of the screens, even as young as 2 years old. One of the highly discussed and debated topics amongst parents today on screen time is how much is too much? Parents are confused about how to assess content, what is or isn't educational, how much time they should allow their child to spend using screens. And most importantly, what impact are these screens going to have on my child's development? So amongst these growing questions, dear parents, the World Health Organization has issued guidelines last year on the amount of time that young children should spend in front of screens. And the Indian Academy of Pediatrics recommends no screen exposure to children less than 2 years old and not more than an hour of screen time for children between the age of 2 to 4 years. There is a growing concern regarding excess screen time exposure and its association with mental health and the adverse effects that happen on child development. Now, let me share some scenarios with you, dear parents, and let me know if they sound familiar to you. Imagine your toddler finger swiping on a smartphone to find his or her favorite video channel on their own. Maybe your 8-year-old is repeatedly begging you for getting them a latest smartphone. Why? Because the reason is, Mama, all the other kids have it. Your 12-year-old is convinced that there is no need to study maths, English, or any subject. Why? Because I want to make it as a YouTube star when I grow up. Well, I used to think that I would get a faster response if I could send my teenager a text message to get him to pass the salt to me. So do these scenarios describe something that you have also seen, or your kids doing? Perhaps they are completely off the mark, but no matter what your household looks like, there are things that any parent can do to help their child thrive in a digital age. Well, screens are not always a bad thing, dear parents. Educational apps and TV shows are some of the good ways how children sharpen their developing brains. It also helps in honing their communication skills, and not to mention the break these gadgets provide us parents. But tread carefully, dear parents. Several researches and studies have connected delayed cognitive development in children with the extended exposure to electronic media. Dear parents, may I now request you to please take a minute and type in the chat box, how many devices does your child have access to at home? I will give you a minute and then we will see your responses and move ahead. Parents, may I request you to type in the chat box? 3. Amit Kumarji says 3. All right. 5, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God. Mobile, TV, laptop. Anmol Singh sir says. Kritika ma'am says 1 mobile phone. Then we have someone who's written 3. All right. That is alarming, 4 devices at a time. Only TV, Anupamaji says. Okay. Bini Bansal ji says 1 mobile. Okay. Thank you, dear parents, for your responses. Now moving forward. While you were typing your responses, dear parents, I would want you to just see what happened in that 1 internet minute. The results will be a little bit alarming. In that 1 minute, there were about 400,000 apps that were downloaded. 4.1 million searches came up on the Google search engine. There were about 1.3 million people who were logged into Facebook. 698,000 scrolls happened on Instagram. There were more than 194,000 tweets. My God, this is such an alarming statistic. So, dear parents, moving forward, ma'am, let us celebrate opportunities in the digital world first, and then we will also talk about certain risks. Now, let us see how screen time helps with learning. Screen time in moderation helps develop new skills, giving your child an access to a wealth of knowledge. It encourages literacy and communication. Dear parents, while it may seem odd to suggest that screens can improve literacy and communication skills, it's true. The ebooks they provide our children reading proficiency. They improve their reading. It also gives our child access to a wide and varied library, larger than most of us have at home. And various apps and computer programs also encourage communication, from emails to notes to writing Word or Google documents. Working and interacting with screens improves both the visual intelligence and the eye-hand coordination, which helps our children develop their fine motor skills. Working with screens also helps in enhancing critical thinking skills. Now, dear parents, not all apps and games are created equal, and it is a fact. But did you know some games also encourage learning and enhance critical thinking skills? A lot of these games won't even feel like learning, especially those that emphasize on role playing, they center social dynamics and active communication. These games absolutely teach resilience, resource management, cooperation, strategic thinking, spatial thinking, and reasoning. But remember, dear parents, it is very important to vet the apps and games that your kids are using. Now, from educational games to apps, dear parents, uh, digital books and e-books, all of these can promote school readiness. Some television programs even encourage reading, spelling, and encourage children to develop mathematical skills as well. But when children are watching television, parents, please co-view and make it a language-rich, socially interactive experience by asking questions and providing descriptions of what your child is seeing. You can also talk to them about the storyline and have an open-ended discussion as to what is it that they feel. A story could have ended. What could have been a different end? Having support to interpret the content enriches a child's experience and it expands their learning. Well, dear parents, while it may seem counterintuitive, screen time improves your child's social and emotional well-being, and this definitely improves their socialization. Now, how does that happen? Certain online games and activities enhance teamwork and creativity as technology takes away the physical barriers leading to social connections, which is important for children who find it hard to make friends or have certain special interests or needs. It is seen that children who have computers at home do perform academically better. Why? Because these screens at times, yes, they do provide children with a plethora of knowledge and other resource materials. Outcomes for children are better if they benefit from being connected to technology, but in moderation. Let us watch this video and see if our children have a healthy relationship with screens.
Here are 5 signs your kid has a healthy relationship with screens. Number 1, they're physically healthy and getting enough sleep. Number 2, they're engaged and learning in school. Number 3, they're pursuing hobbies and interests. Number 4, they're socially interacting with friends and family. And number 5, their digital life appears fun, positive, and even educational.
Dear parents, with that said, it is still important to balance time in front of the computer with other activities. Sitting in front of the TV and staring at your phone at all the time is not good or healthy. It can have adverse effects. So setting a limit is very critical. I'm sure you have experienced your child's tantrums when you take away their device from them. Moving ahead, what you see on the screen, dear parents, is an iceberg, right? What we see above the sea level is just the tip of the huge iceberg that is visible underwater. Now, excess screen time in early childhood has found to also negatively impact cognitive, language, literacy, and socio-emotional development. Now, on your screens, dear parents, what we see are some astonishing symptoms of screen time in so many ways. These are just some of the visible signs and symptoms of screen overload. Do these symptoms sound familiar to you? Well, some of them probably do. This is the iceberg theory of behaviors, which is applied to screen time and its overuse. I am repeatedly saying overuse, right? There are things that we see on screen when it comes to screen time, but what else is happening when screens take over the balance of play, physical activity, creative play, and imagination? So, dear parents, let me now talk about the symptoms of too much screen time or screen time overload. Now, overuse of screens increases the central nervous system arousal. You must have noticed that images on the screens, they move very fast. There is practically a change on the screen every 6 minutes. But dear parents, real life has a slower pace, which helps our children develop their concentration skills. And overuse of screen time at a young age has been linked to concentration difficulties later in childhood. Screen-based activities increases the central nervous system arousal. And what does this central nervous system arousal, what does it mean? Now, dear parents, since the frontal cortex of the brain or the front part of the brain in a child is not yet fully developed. Now, children face difficulties controlling their concentration, behavior, and judgment due to this. Let us see this video to understand the central nervous system arousal a little better.
Perhaps you've seen videos like this appear in your social media feeds lately.
Stop!
The concept is pretty simple. Parents prank their kids by unplugging the child's video game console in the middle of gameplay, and the reactions are viral gold.
I'm getting my weed! Stop! Stop!
No one likes to be forced to stop having fun, but something different is happening here. If you were to take away a child's books or Legos, you're not likely to get a reaction like this. So what's going on here? Why are these meltdowns so dramatic? According to Dr. Milham, these reactions aren't necessarily because of an addiction to gaming. Instead, what we witness in these videos are children who are victims of their own biology. One of the reasons the children in these videos find it so hard to control themselves is because they don't yet have a fully developed prefrontal cortex. Another factor is dopamine, which is often referred to as the brain's pleasure chemical, because it's associated with feelings of euphoria, motivation, and concentration. Let's say a child is about to eat a piece of candy. The anticipation of eating that candy gives the child a spike of dopamine. Then their parent yanks that candy away from them. That action will cause a drop in dopamine, which will upset the child. Video game designers have gotten remarkably adept at keeping gamers entranced with a steady source of intermittent rewards. More rewards means a constant stream of dopamine released into the brain throughout gameplay. So when a parent pulls the plug on a child's video game, there's an even more powerful effect. For many households across the country, meltdowns over video games are a very real part of everyday life. Parents we have spoken with say they find themselves in a battle of wills with their children when they tell them to turn off a video game and do homework, eat dinner, or go to bed.
Mom! Now I have to do it all over!
So, dear parents, overuse of screen-based entertainment increases the central nervous system arousal, and this can amplify anxiety, leading to tantrums and unpleasant behavior in children. Now, what we see on screen are some visible signs that I'm sure most of you would relate to, being irregular sleep, blurry eyes, eye strain, headaches, all of that leading to tantrums. Now, let me talk about these signs. Now, the more time you spend on a screen, dear parents, your child is more likely to have trouble falling asleep or have an irregular sleep schedule. The blue light that is emitted from these electronic devices interferes with the brain's sleep cycle, tricking our brain into thinking that it is still daylight. And this can definitely prevent in getting a good night's sleep. Now, the amount of screen time that your child clocks in has a direct impact of how much sleep the child is getting, as this blue light also interferes with the production of the sleep hormone melatonin in your body. Now, spending long hours staring at the screens also takes a toll on the body, especially the eyes. Excessive screen time not only strains your child's eyes, but leaves the child's eye feeling dry due to a reduced blink rate. This has been consistently reported with screen use leading to headaches, later on leading to retina damage and blur vision, also resulting in myopia, which is nearsightedness, and hypermetropia, which is farsightedness. Screen time also affects the social and emotional development of your children. Now, using digital devices is a largely solitary activity. Your child doesn't have much of real life interactions when he or she is preoccupied with what's happening on the screen. Now, this could lead to feelings of withdrawal in some children. Now, with children in particularly, this precious opportunity to develop important social skills through playing with friends is lost when they spend time on digital devices instead. And your parents being in front of screens for a very long period of time can lead to less time for real life learning and interaction between your child and you. Excessive screen time leaves less time for active play, creative play. Too much screen time also affects the ability in children to register and process emotions. Now, desensitizing to violent content is one particularly worrying side effect of a weakened emotional judgment. According to scientific researches, dear parents, exposure to violent media content can also increase aggression levels, especially in younger children and adolescents. Too much screen time or smartphone time, tablets, using too much laptops can make your child's brain lazy and will make it harder for them to interact with other people. The more time your child spends looking at a screen, the less time your child will get to interact with people. This will make it difficult to establish interpersonal connections and also in building strong relationships, which are very important for mental health and the health of the community at large. Now, let me talk about the effects of screen time on problem solving and cognitive skills for children. Dear parents, a new study has found that toddlers who spend too much time in front of televisions, tablets, and smartphones may not be as skilled at problem solving, communication, or other skills needed for school. So background TV, dear parents, is defined as not being child-directed and most incomprehensible to young children. So when children are watching daily soaps and serials at home, they might get influenced due to the exposure to the content as their brains aren't developed enough to apply the things that they learn from screens to what they experience in real life. Background TV also includes adult-directed programs such as sports, comedy shows, and drama shows. And all of these distract young minds from focusing on exploration and play, impair the quality and quantity of the parent-child interaction, and disrupts sustained toy play at a very young age, which is very important for small children. One of the scariest consequence of excessive screen time, dear parents, is loss of cognitive ability, as it has effects on one's mental health. Now, too much screen time alters the very structure of your child's brain because it causes the gray matter, which is responsible for cognitive processing, to shrink, as well as in bringing deformity to the white matter that serves as network to the brain signal communication. And all of this, dear parents, results in poor concentration, a weakened memory, slow information processing, and a weaker impulse control. So, dear parents, screen time overload slows down development as hours passed in front of the television or the tablet or the smartphones means that the child is missing out on chances to scribble with crayons or play games that would help him or her learn how to kick a ball. These are critical skills for early childhood because mastery of a particular skill, dear parents, is needed before any further development can occur. For example, a child needs to walk before he or she can run. The child should know how to hold a crayon before they can write their name. Now, dear parents, researchers who study children, how they learn, they have said that it is easier for young children to comprehend information from real life experiences with people and objects as compared with information delivered via a screen. Young children don't really relate that much to what they see on screen as they do in real life. When you're playing with your child, you're teaching them how to interact with the environment. The more interactive you can be with them, the better, as children will be using their senses. They are sensory learners, dear parents. It is important for them because they explore the world through their senses. They will be listening to you, they will be touching things, they will be smelling things. So let me talk about the image that you see on the screen. What you see on the left side is how a child's brain is processing the image of a castle exactly as seen on screen. Whereas the image on the right side clearly indicates how the brain will imagine the information that is being read from a book, leading the child's brain to create a beautiful castle. And in reality, the child will be able to create something that he has read, imagined it in his thoughts, and then created. Moving ahead, dear parents, now too much screen time can also be linked to childhood obesity. Now, dear parents, I hope you all would agree that less physical activity means less metabolic rate, leading to obesity. Now, excessive use of screens means sitting at one place with limited physical activity. Overexposure to screens has been found to be a risk factor for obesity in young children that follow these kids well into adulthood. Now, children who are exposed more to televisions are likely to have the weight problem. How does that happen? One would be when children are watching marketing of unhealthy food and beverages that contributes to their obesity. They develop an appetite for junk food that is promoted in the ads, and they even overeat while watching on electronics. So the more TV and video your child watches, the greater are his or her risks of becoming overweight. Moving ahead to postural kyphosis. Now, this happens when muscles and bones get used to being hunched over, leading to a rounded back and shoulders. Dear parents, most children use a cell phone or a laptop and tend to have a poor posture. Their head is tilted forward, the shoulders are stooping forward to look into the screen. Now, this can lead to increased stress around the cervical spine with early wear and tear and degeneration. Exercising and strengthening the back muscles can help better support the spine. But however, some children may need physical therapy to help correct postural kyphosis. Bad posture, dear parents, means more for children and teenagers than just having pain in the back. Long-term changes to the spine can impact their motor skills, leading to poor balance. Slouching reduces the lung capacity and the depth of respiration, which may increase fatigue because the body is not getting enough oxygen that is required to function properly. Neck, back, and joint pain, as well as headaches, are common physical ailments resulting from a bad posture. A slumped posture is often associated with lack of confidence, exhibiting negative moods, and can be an indicator of a decreased self-esteem. And dear parents, all of the above, they lead to delayed learning, leading to poor educational outcomes and a poorer quality of life. When it comes to young children, the alteration of the brain structure due to excessive screen time can impact their learning abilities. Letting kids watch educational programs may not be the only way to educate them. Young children learn better by physically exploring, and letting them watch shows passively definitely hinders their brains from being active and engaged. Now, screen times affect adults the same way as it does to children. So too much screen time puts everyone at the risk of being obese. It is also linked with sleep disturbances, and in adults can also affect relationships. So how do we balance screen time, dear parents? Very important. Establish a healthy media diet from the start. Dear parents, you don't need a research to prove that what you do as parents matters to kids. The adage, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, has much to do with young children watching you as it does with genetics. Kids are always watching us, whether we know it or acknowledge it or not. Dear parents, do keep in mind, screen time is a sweet spot for children, and you will have to keep an eye on what your child is doing on their screen, what children are experiencing on social media and on the internet. So what should parents do? Dear parents, be involved, be aware of how your children are engaging with digital media, trying to help your kids find a balance between the online and offline activities. Creating a digital balance is very important. Like a healthy meal, a healthy digital diet can help children develop good online habits. Dear parents, let me share some digital diet strategies to support you in helping your children prioritize screen time activities in a balanced way. Dear parents, your child will always be watching the way you use technology. They will copy you. Make sure there is consistency in how you role model good behavior. Let me repeat that one. Be a digital role model. This means putting down your smartphone, tablet, or laptop and looking into your child's eyes and listening to them. Dear parents, I mean really listening to them. Give them undivided attention when they come to you. A lot of parents think that screen time balance is just for children and young people. But the truth is that many adults need some digital detox downtime as well. Be present, moderate your use, supervise children. No texting while driving, dear parents, at all. And the most important thing, no oversharing. Take tons of pictures of your little ones, your children, but dear parents, be very mindful of posting it all on your Facebook and Instagram accounts. Interesting change up, isn't it? Moving ahead, please. Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am, please go back to the previous slide. Thank you. Dear parents, I would also want to suggest for you to model under modeling of healthy use of electronics. What you can do is be mindful the next time you binge watch your favorite Netflix series. Remember that you are setting an example for your children. Keeping the TV on in the background and scrolling through your phone whenever you have a spare minute might not be might not be something that you would model to hope to see in your children. Choosing a time for the whole family to agree to put away all devices gives your family the time to connect with each other. So a strategy that I used to use when my kids were growing up was that, when we would visit grandmama's house, we would have a basket at the entry point and we would put away all our devices so that we could spend quality time together. Now, it is also a good idea, dear parents, to turn off notifications on apps to avoid that constant ping. Maybe even, buy an alarm clock instead of putting alarms in your mobile phones to wake you up. Don't have any devices in the bedroom. Keeping your phone on silent or in your pocket or bag is very important when you pick up your child from school. Bottom line, dear parents, is that communication is pretty much the key to everything. We communicate to our kids through our actions, our willingness to listen to them, and our ability to learn and to grow. Have fun playing games with them, could be online or offline, bond over new apps, find new ways to access old films together. Children will tend to model their behavior on you. So if you encourage them, they will follow your lead. And dear parents, remember, what you serve, they will return. Moving ahead, your little ones need labs, not apps. Your children thrive with face-to-face interactions and hands-on experiences. At this stage, keep screens at a minimum and focus on modeling healthy tech habits as a parent. Let me share with you some strategies to help your children, young children, manage their screen time. Dear parents, set rules on the use of screens in and out of home. As a family, create an agreement together to manage how screens and online platforms should be used and why. Family rules should include rules that everyone in the house is expected to follow, including parents. Not to forget, you are the role models, dear parents. So don't include bedtime at 7 p.m. unless you plan to go to bed at the same time. Your household rules, they should be specific to your family's needs and values. Having an electronic curfew is another strategy that most families use. I have been using it. It's worked at times, and I'm still following it. Many families, we establish rules to limiting screen time for just a couple of hours per day. Other families might not have a rule like this. Maybe the electronics need to be turned off. Yes, you can have a time where all the electronics will be turned off. Setting a curfew for these electronics before bedtime can help develop a good sleep hygiene for both children and parents. You can set rules to meet the needs of your child. Make sure to stick to the rules. It is a good idea, dear parents, to review these rules as your children grow and become more active online. Now, make family time and sleep a priority over screens. Now, by creating device-free zones, dear parents, at meal time and making use of tools to set time limits on when your screens can be used, you can improve the family interaction and reduce interruptions to children's bedtime routine. It's very important to follow a regular sleeping schedule. So a good one that I used to use for my children when they were growing up is following the 3 B's. So instead of giving them screens before bedtime, I would tell my children to take a bath, brush their teeth, and read a good book. So another strategy would be to have an overnight charging area for smartphones and tablets, which is not in your bedroom, but in a room away from the bedroom. It's very important, dear parents, do not force your child to fall asleep. If your child cannot sleep within the 20 minutes of getting into bed, get them out of bed, make them do a mindful breathing exercise, and then when they're feeling calm, they will be ready to sleep. Try it out and let me know if it works. Dear parents, another strategy that I would like to share is to use the bed only for sleeping. Using the bed for watching television or scrolling through your phones or working will lead your child, as young as our little ones, they start associating the bed with these activities. So if you reserve the bed solely for sleeping, your child will recognize this and hopefully will sleep better. Now, if you can use as many of these suggestions, dear parents, as possible, you should notice big improvements in your child's sleeping habits, which makes them more healthy, productive, and agreeable. Play, watch, and discover together. Dear parents, help children make connections between what they see on screen and in the real world. Play games with them after using objects like what they have seen on the device. For example, you could play with blocks, and you can play with a ball you can catch and you can kick. Point out and label objects in real life as they have seen on TV or on their touch screens. For example, have animals which are labeled, take them to a park and show them actual flowers and name them. As young children take their first digital footsteps, play, watch, and discover together. Stay engaged in whatever they are doing. Create spaces to talk about what they enjoy and how they can stay safe. It is very important, dear parents. This will help them feel more confident to come to you if they get stuck or see something that has made them feel uncomfortable. Dear parents, very important, please stay calm. Do not overreact when your child tells you what has gone wrong. Take the lead when choosing what they see and do on screens. Together, find age-appropriate websites, apps, and games that will give your child a way to enhance their skills while building their confidence in navigating in the online world. Be sure to make use of free tech tools on the apps and devices your child is using to create a safer space for them to explore online. Now, let me talk about some digital tools which help here. Google's digital well-being dashboard, it gives you an overview of what your child is spending their time on, and all of this can be used as a starting point to talk about ways to improve your child's screen use and, most importantly, protect your child's digital well-being. Our smartphones, dear parents, they have inbuilt screen time messages which pop up on the phone screen whenever you have an overuse of screen during that particular day. Now, there are certain apps that both iOS and Android phones have come out with, which help in, blocking distracting apps and filtering communication. Let me give you names of a few. There is one app which is Off Time. Then there is Moment on iOS. Break Free is available for iOS and Android. There is one called Flipped. App Detox is another app, and Stay on Task is another app that can be used for controlling screen time using your smartphones. So do explore these apps, dear parents, and see if they help you in some way or the other. Now, moving ahead, school-age children often start to have more access to technology at school and home. They will need guidance on how to use screens wisely and are typically not able to self-regulate their screen time. Let me share some strategies you can use to guide your school-going child manage their screen time. So, dear parents, I will address to your questions post the session. So let me know then. I will go through all your questions then. So setting rules together, which are digital rules. Agree on digital boundaries together with your child to get them involved in the process and building up their understanding of why it is beneficial for them to stick to these rules. Now, one such rule could be no texting during meals. How will this help? It will teach your child to be respectful using cell phone etiquettes by saying no texting or using electronics during mealtime. Instead, make family mealtime more about conversing with one another. Make it clear to your child that ignoring people in front of you while scrolling through your phone is very impolite. A digital boundary, another one that I can share with you is, I used to use this a lot with my children. The TV stays off during meal times. So you can also have a rule which says that no screen time until your homework or your other chores are complete. This rule definitely makes your child take care of their responsibilities first. And this is a good way to teach self-discipline. Using screen time as a privilege, it's a good thing. It can be enjoyed after a child's work is done. Stay engaged in their screen use. Get engaged, stay engaged. That is the key, dear parents, in your child's digital life as he or she grows. The more you get involved and understand the things your children do online, the easier it is to gain their respect and influence what they do in their digital world. Ensure they have a healthy mix of screen activities that encourage creativity, learning, education, connecting with family and friends, as well as using devices for only downtime or detox. Discuss online risks and strategies to tackle them. Now take time to help your child understand the risks and benefits of using the internet, whether it is discussing what steps to take if they see something that upsets them, or guiding them towards apps and platforms that will help them explore their passions and enhance their skills. Let your child know of a certain rule that they need to follow while being online. Tell them not to give out personal details online. Most children think they are safe from potential dangers being online. This can make them more likely to share their information, which is personal, with strangers. They may unknowingly hand out their information to someone who might seem harmless, or they may accidentally give out information by posting messages. Now, from pictures to your home address, set clear rules about what information you do not want your child to give out. Talk about the importance of maintaining a good online reputation. Here, dear parents, I'd like to emphasize on an acronym which I use a lot as a strategy. Let your child know about STOP. S would be to step away. T would be tell a trusted adult. O means okay sites only. And P, let your child know to pause and think online. It's very important. Using technology, tech tools to manage your child's time and access to media. Whatever device your child is using, be sure to make use of free premium tools available to manage their access to age-appropriate content. Dear parents, review the time they spend on specific online activities. There is an online time duration calculator app which can help you along with technology in setting a time limit for your child. Using a timer is a good idea, dear parents. Set a timer for how much you want your child to spend on screen and encourage your child to stick to it. Log out when your child is done. Emphasize on this. Tell them to log out. Pay attention to what apps are open in the background, because then when there is a constant ping on that app which is opened in the background, we tend to go back and check unconsciously. To preempt a wave of anti-screen sentiments amongst consumers. So companies like Apple, Facebook, and Instagram, they are making it easier for users to break this cycle of their apps and devices. Now, for example, the latest iOS update, it allows iPhone users to limit the time they spend on certain apps and websites. So what happens, dear parents, in this particular situation is when a user reaches the time limit, the software automatically blocks the site or the app. With all of the above, dear parents, we need to focus on building skills and interests outside of a screen in keeping childhood alive for our children. And how can that happen? It will happen by focusing on time your child spends outdoors, doing movement activities, reading, imagining. Real life connections with family and friends is also very important. Do follow these strategies and see if they work for you and your child. Now, moving ahead, where preteens, now these children, they start to become more interested in peers and tech. But remember, dear parents, you are still the #1 influencer in your child's life. You will add to a layer of trust by continuing to build your relationship with your child. Let me share some strategies to help your preteens manage their screen time. Take an active role in their digital life. Now, dear parents, I've mentioned this earlier, be engaged and stay engaged in their digital life as your child grows, thus making it easier for you to gain their respect and influence what you do in their what they do in their digital world. Making screens a part of family time can also be done, where you have a a movie night or an online games night, which makes screen time for your children more inclusive and engaging. Equip your child with the know-how of how to manage risks online. Again, this age group will also need guidance from the parent of how they can manage risks online. Now, as your child becomes more active online, have regular conversations, dear parents, with them about ways they can deal with a range of risks that they may be exposed to, such as seeing inappropriate content on screens. Make sure they know when and where to seek help if they need it, and what they can do to deal with it. Talk to your child to be mindful about how they react to a post or before posting anything online. Here, I'd like to give you another strategy. Emphasize on the acronym THINK. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And above all, K, is it kind? Is the post that they are reading a kind post, or is it what they are posting online? Is it kind, or is it going to be hurtful? Very important, dear parents. Encourage your child to be selective about what they do online. Help your child avoid mindless scrolling, be more critical about media he or she is watching. Encourage your child to explore apps and websites that will complement what they enjoy in the real world and which will help them develop key skills. Give your child space to become digitally resilient. As children get older and more confident in their digital world, it is important to encourage them to be more responsible and give them space to thrive online. Keep the channel of communication open, be on the lookout for any differences in behavior that might suggest something isn't quite right. Despite what the society says, dear parents, preteens are still kids in the best way. Let's let kids be kids just a little longer. Now, teenagers use technology more than ever to stay connected with each other and the rest of the world. So how can we guide them in managing their screen time? Some strategies would be to help them prioritize key tasks over screens. Now, like young children, it can be tempting for our teenagers also to multitask with a screen, but often it can be a huge distraction. To help them strike a healthy balance, it is important to help them set simple rules that they can follow. A rule like putting their phone on do not disturb when doing important activities like homework, creating device-free zones at home, or maybe taking regular breaks could help your teenagers. And yes, along with the strategies that I've talked about in my previous slides, setting a good example with your own screen time use is very essential, dear parents. Encourage your child to self-regulate their screen time. Whatever devices your teen uses, take time to sit together and review the free tools available. Again, I've mentioned this in my previous slides. Make sure that they are aware of the privacy settings that can be used to stay in control of what they are sharing. Look into app permissions. I mean, this can be a very powerful way to understand what can happen with their data usage. All gaming consoles, dear parents, and some social media platforms also have inbuilt settings that allow you to set alerts to tell you when you've reached a certain amount of time on the platform, and it also gives you a summary of the time spent to support your child's digital well-being. Now, to support each age with different levels of tech access and support, parents of teenagers, what should we do? We should reinforce positive choices and use the poor ones as an opportunity to teach and connect with our child. Create boundaries that work for your teenager. Those boundaries might be different from that of their friends, but that's okay. Personal values that will guide healthy decisions both online and offline. Make sure that your teen knows that they are loved. Teenagers, dear parents, they often push for independence, and it is healthy and normal. But we are still the parents. Our goal is to launch our teenager into a world with healthy tech habits and a sense of self, which is stronger than any screen. Now, dear parents, in the previous slides, we've repeatedly seen, speak to your child about the risks that are involved with screens and internets. Now, with the increased time that is spent online, you might be worried about your child and cyberbullying. Understanding cyberbullying can help you in supporting your child stay safe online. Take the time to talk to them, dear parents. Be open to listening and understanding their experience of cyberbullying. You can let them know of the following things. Tell your child it is not okay to be cyberbullied. They can tell a trusted adult. They can block the post or the person who has been bullying them online. They can report the hurtful post or comment. The best of all, dear parents, is you can guide your child to switch off for a while and do something else that they enjoy. And we will soon be having a webinar on this topic as well. So, dear parents, the truth about screen time is that not all screen time is created equal. It is important to encourage children to have a healthy balance between passive screen, which could be watching YouTube, or interactive screen time, which could be where the child is creating content or playing games online to build their social skills. There is no safe level of screen time, but it doesn't mean that all screen time is harmful. The time spent on screen, from social media to computers and televisions, is a major part of everyday life and a necessary part of education today and in the future. One size does not fit all when it comes to screen time. Dear parents, it is more about getting it right for your family's needs. We need to create a tech-healthy family. So let's reduce screen time, restore family time, and raise kids who thrive. Dear parents, we will now be opening for a Q&A session. If you have a question, please type it in the chat box and I will take your name. Our IT sir will give you the access rights. So when you get a notification from Mr. Puneet, please do accept it so that your question can be spoken by you on screen. I will quickly see the chat questions. All right. If there should be one session of kids, so as well, so that they can understand to minimize electronic devices. So, all right. So, sir, can we give access rights to Miss Aparna Singh?
Given, ma'am.
Aparna ji, you'll have to accept the access rights.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Good
Yes,
morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, as we know that the parents are the best leader and a motivator for child. This session is also very important for us. But at a time when child grow up in the life, they also see a second leader in their life as a teacher. They also highly
Absolutely.
motivated by their teachers.
Yes,
Sometimes what we say, they say that we always used to say or motivate something, we always used to limit something. So when the teacher says, they take very seriously, as we also did in our childhood. So
yes.
if such kind of session, we can have a 5 session, but one session should be for the child as well, for their language at their level, so that they can also understand, and a better coordination between the parents, teacher, and children can help us
So we
to
will
regulate.
definitely work on creating a session for children so that they are also benefited. And yes, very rightly said, when the information is given out by the teacher, the child will always go ahead and say, yes, my ma'am has said this and I will do it. So what
Yes,
class is your child in, sir?
she is in 4th class, G section of Amity International Sector 46, Gurgaon.
Class 4. All right. Are there any other concerns other than this
Yes,
request of
yes, ma'am.
having a workshop for children?
Yes, ma'am. Like in Gurgaon being a big city, where the most of the parents, both parents are working.
Yes.
So say in holiday or after, when the children comes from school, while having their meal or even after meal, they keep on watching the television. And while having in our office, we cannot keep on shouting on our children that no, you need to stop that viewing the television, because we have to also concentrate in our office, as well as we need not be so harsh on our child sitting very distance away. So politely, we would like to have a control system. Like in YouTube, we have, as you are saying, that there is a mechanism to, like in tablet and mobile, we can fix the limit, right? But do there is any app where we can fix on television? And secondly,
So the
we also,
televisions, most of our homes have televisions which have a parental control app. There is a button on parental control. So it gives
Mhm.
you access to, when you would want your TV to switch off automatically. So maybe
Okay,
without even your child being aware of this when they are not around, you can have this parental control placed on the television so that it coincides with the time when the child is going to be having his or her meal,
okay, right.
right?
And
To
then my
start
last,
with, you can start
Mhm.
with this.
Okay, right, ma'am. I will try this one with my smart TV. Right. And the last question is, ma'am, that there are some educational app, there are some educational search that we can do in YouTube. And once you start viewing that one, there is a history created for that one. And the child also get, whenever they also start viewing it again, they will see some other link related to that. So if
Yes.
the parents are provided with such links or such apps, or such program, like Dr. Binocus is one of the important web series of the educational program. Similarly,
Yes.
such kind of things should be provided to the parents as per the age group. Like I cannot tell that 2 to 3 class when while she was studying, same can be also valid for when she is in 8, 9. So as they
Mhm.
grow, they also need improvement and enhancement bar level. So such apps should be or the web link should be provided so that we can practice and
So we
see the
will
changes.
definitely provide you with some web links in our via mail, and I'll also be sharing, as one parent has requested the apps to be posted on the chat link. I will do that. But sir, there is another thing. When you're making your child watch a YouTube video, it is
Yes, ma'am.
important to first remember to have the autoplay button switched off,
Okay, right,
because
right.
once the video ends, because of the autoplay, the screen moves to the next video in line, which might not be relevant for your child.
Yes,
So
very
one
true.
thing to
Very
do
true.
would be to switch off the autoplay button. And yes, once the child has finished viewing the time that you have allotted your child to view the screen, remember to delete the history, because yes, you would not want your child to see something which is unacceptable.
Yes, true, very true. Yes.
Okay. And yes,
Mm.
YouTube also has a channel called YouTube Kids.
Yes,
But
that is
then
there.
again,
Mm.
adult supervision is very important here, dear parent. I would suggest that please be around when your child is watching these YouTube channels, because something or the other just pops up, and we have seen that there are some dubious sites that send in their name is in the form of something with kids, but when you open the link, it is completely a different view that you get.
Content.
So it is
Yes, sir.
important for you as a parent to first visit the video, see the video, vet the app, and then keep it ready for your child to view. Don't let them just scroll through on their own. Be there.
Right.
Right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. We'll practice it.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
I would take another question. Sir, may I request you to give rights to Ms. Mamta Gupta? So Mamta ji has typed her question. My son is 7 years old and he is addicted to screen time, becomes aggressive when refused to play online games. So Mamta ji, I would request you to please accept the rights to admission. Sir, have the rights been given to ma'am?
Hello, ma'am.
Good morning, Mamta ji. So
Good
your
morning.
child is 7 years old and you've written that your child is addicted to the screen
Yes, ma'am.
and becomes aggressive when you ask him to stop playing the online games. So
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
well, with the video that we showed on how these screens increase the central nervous system arousal, right? So these games that they play online, what happens is after each level that a child clears, there is a certain reward that is given, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
you as a parent need to understand that your child will get upset, will throw a tantrum. So what strategy can you use at that time, dear parent, is that set a rule with your child in front. Tell them that today we are going to spend only this much time on the game, and then I have planned an outdoor park visit with you. It might
Okay, ma'am.
not work in the first go, but be consistent throughout. Sit with your child, plan out a routine for the day, and let them know that we will be following our routine. So have a timetable set where the child gets a little time for online games as well, but he also gets a lot of time for outdoor play, right?
Right, ma'am.
Try out some strategies that I had talked about during the session and see if it works with your child. You are free to get back to us with more if you need some more strategies on this.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Okay, so on YouTube, how can I stop my kid from diverting to shorts often? I would request Puneet sir to please give access rights to Mr. Sahil Gupta. I would want to understand your question a little better, sir. Puneet sir, may I request for Mr. Sahil Gupta to be given the access rights?
Ma'am, given.
Thank you, sir. Sahilji, you will have to accept the access rights. Puneet sir, I would request you to give access rights to Divya Sarinji as well.
Ma'am, she is already joined.
She's already there. Divya ji, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, firstly, I would like to thank you. This session was really informative and very comprehensive. I mean, I've attended other sessions on the same topic, but this was really comprehensive.
Thank you,
And,
Divyaji, for your kind words.
technologically also it was very comprehensive. So, ma'am, I want to ask you one thing. Like, although my son watches, we have a check on what he's watching, and he watches quite educational content. And
Okay.
he's not spending much time. We break it into parts.
Mhm.
But then, like you said, that I asked him, I to tell him that first you have to finish your homework or do this, and then you can watch. So he's like always after, okay, after this can I watch? After this can I watch? So how do I work on that? Because I don't want him to have that thing. After this can I watch?
So Divyaji, how old is your child?
He's 5 now. He's going to be 6 very soon.
He's 5.
Hanji.
All right. And have you tried making a visual timetable for your child?
How do I
A
do that, ma'am?
A visual timetable, ma'am, would be where instead of just writing down in blocks that from this time to this time we're going to do, we're going to watch your YouTube channel, and this time to this time is meal time. Rather than having written things, have pictorial representation of how you want your child to move during the day. Right. So
Okay.
once he comes back from school, maybe have a pictorial representation of the activity that you would want your child to do. Right. And sit together with your child and build this visual plan for the day. Okay, and have a mix of the online as well as offline activities where you focus more on the child's all-round development, be it physical. You can, involve him in certain activities that you would do in the kitchen, or maybe something that he is interested in, maybe a painting activity, or maybe, just playing with Play-Doh. So what are his other interests?
Ma'am, so as you said about the visual timetable, I might not have jotted down that as you said, but I keep him busy with a lot of things. He loves building, and regularly we go to the park. So I do keep a check on that. What I don't like, ma'am, I give him a lot of activity books to do so that he enjoys a lot of things. But I don't like his, how do I work on that curiosity? Okay, after this, can I watch? Now I'm done with building blocks. Now can I watch? I mean, why is watching so important all the time?
So he watches, you're saying that your child watches educational content.
Yes, ma'am.
On YouTube?
Yes, ma'am. He loves number blocks, things like
All
that.
right.
Or alpha blocks.
So
that I'm completely
So
keeping.
you
we are
can,
completely
along
keeping a
with
check
your
on.
child, narrow down or maybe zero down to one particular video in a day. Because, well, like I mentioned, children between 2 to 4 years of age, and maybe 5 as well, need to be given only 1 hour of screen time in the entire day.
Okay.
Right? Maybe you would want to break that screen time into 4 sub times, maybe a 15-minute window, or maybe a half an hour window, and then follow it with a physical activity. Then follow it with, moving to your child having lunch, having time to sleep, having time to play around with friends. And it can be just something that he uses as a downtime. Don't give it in continuation for that 1 hour, because ma'am said 1 hour is okay.
Okay. Right.
To break down the frequency of the time that is recommended for your child's age.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I will definitely share your ideas with my other friends also. So they're really
Thank
productive.
you so much, Divyaji. Sahilji, let's come to your question, please. I would like to understand your question a little better.
Hi. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Sahilji. Please go ahead. Yes.
Ma'am, I just wanted to say that my kid is 4. Okay. Although he watches just educational videos, okay, of whatever, his teacher is teaching them, he's going with that only. But in the middle, there are YT shorts, YouTube shorts. So often he just deviate from the normal videos to shorts, and he jumps over there. And shorts, I don't find them useful. They are uh, like out of the totally out of the box. No, I don't know how to describe them, but and totally misleading. So I don't know how to
Well,
stop them.
sir,
Nothing at
to
all.
be honest, I will definitely have to do my own research on how we can skip the shorts and focus only on YouTube playing the video that you are intending to play. I have noted down your query. I will definitely get back to you through a mail.
Sure, I will be thankful to you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Kamal Sharma ji is requesting for my child is 5 years old. Puneet sir, may I request you to give access rights to Kamal Sharma ji? My child is 5 years old and he sees superheroes on YouTube. He is addicted to playing with superheroes, toys. How shall I curb this addiction? Okay, Kamal ji, we'll wait for you to come on screen and speak.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
How old is your child? You said is 5 years old.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in the morning time, he sees superheroes like Spider-Man, Batman, and he craves for toys, and he sleeps with the toys, and also he cries a lot because of he loves playing with those toys, and he sees YouTube videos of superheroes. So it's become an addiction now for him. So how I can how we can curb this addiction? That's
Well,
what
again, sir, what device is your child using to watch? Is it
television,
the laptop,
television.
tab, or the phone?
Television.
It's the television.
Yeah.
Again, you do have parental controls where the TV automatically switches off. I think some of the Wi-Fi routers also have an auto disconnect. They disconnect for a few minutes and then gets connected back. So you have to break the cycle where the child gets to understand that now the program has ended, maybe the Wi-Fi is not working or the screen has shut down, right? You will have to break that cycle. Now, when you say that the child is addicted to superheroes, maybe your child finds a secure, security in the superheroes where the child is seeing what these superheroes do on, on the YouTube channels that the programs that he's watching.
Yes.
So maybe you could let your child understand that these are imaginative characters. We don't see them on a daily basis. Yes, your child is only 5 years old. It will take a little extra time for him to understand what reality and what imaginative is. Okay, so
yes.
Please do put in these parental controls so that there is a break in the viewing of these programs.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Try that out, see if it works.
Yeah.
And do let us know.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamal sir.
Thank you.
So Mr. Amit Kumar ji has posted a question. Sir, can we give rights to Amit Kumar ji? My son is 11 plus in 7th standard. He keeps checking his phone as and when he gets time in between. He watches some useless contents as well, which is not age appropriate. I don't know how to make him understand about this. Sir, I had mentioned, let me wait, Kamal sir, are you come online? Yes. So, sir, can we have you on camera, please? Kamal sir, are you able to come on camera and unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
See the question.
Amit sir, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem.
Yes. So, sir, there are your child. Whatever phone he has, I will do one thing. I will quickly have my support team member type down the applications that can be used by iOS and Android users so that the same can be downloaded, and these will help you in putting a stop to the constant ping that keeps coming onto certain apps and the programs that your child might be watching. Try and talk to your child, because he is now in class 7th, and create rules as a family where you tell your child to themselves create a time that they would be switching off their phone, if not switching it off, keeping it on silent in another room. But as a family, when you do this, do remember, dear parent, that your phones should also be on silent, because yes, children who are growing will definitely be observing what their parents are doing. So whenever you have a spare time, I would request you, dear parent, that try and stay away from your phone so that your child also sees what the parent is doing and absorbs it and tries to move ahead with that. Right? Again,
Right.
it is very important for us to move alongside how our children are going to be reacting to what we tell them. So instead of telling your child, show them that, yes, for me, your time and my time, our interaction is important. When I'm doing my work, I'm going to be focusing on my work and not my device. Try
Right.
this strategy and let us know if it works for you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ms. Dipti has a query. How can we connect with you further for any query? I won't be able to talk to you as a... No worries, Dipti ji. You will be very soon be receiving a handout in the mail, and we would request you to send in your questions to us through mail on the same email ID, and we will get back to you with the answers and strategies. So dear parents, if you have any further queries or questions that might not have been answered, I would request you to please mail them back to us and we will get back to you. I would request my team member to share the link of feedback in the chat box. Dear parents, would request you to leave a feedback using the link. And while you type your feedbacks, if you could, ma'am, move to the next slide. Thank you. Amity Center for Educational Research and Training is a center which is dedicated to parents, teachers, and children. And for all further updates on our upcoming webinars and parenting workshops, please visit our website, www.amity.edu/ACERT. Do visit our ACERT Facebook page. Dear parents, we are open for our ongoing new teacher training programs, and under these programs, ACERT offers postgraduate diplomas in elementary teachers training and postgraduate diplomas in early childhood care and education. For more information, dear parents, please visit our website. Thank you so much, dear parents, and have a pleasant day.